Hello everyone and welcome to Terraria with Yak. And yes, you read the title correctly of this video. Calamity has finally added a Shield of the Cthulu upgrade. Yes, you can dash and everything and gives bonus abilities. So I'm going to be comparing, I'm going to be going through the stats and stuff and comparing it with the other dashing accessories around the stage. So one thing to note is how you craft it, obviously. Shield of Cthulu, the Cobalt Shield, 4 life alloys. So you have to note, of course, life alloys require the Scoria bars, and that means that you cannot get the Shield of Cthulu, or excuse me, Shield of the High Ruler, which is the upgrade, until post Golem. Alright, so you have to have the Scoria pickaxe post Golem. Whereas something like the Asgard's Valor or the Master Ninja Gear are post-Terraria accessories, which comes before Golem. But let's compare the stats though. So what I like to test first with the dashing accessories, I like to test the dashing range, because I always feel like a shorter dash is not as good, because you want to be, a dash is to get away from the enemy or change directions. You want to move the farthest away possible. So a dash that goes a greater distance is therefore better. Alright, so let's start with the Shield of the High Ruler. Alright, and I'm going to calculate this by just dashing, and we're going to see how far I go along these houses. Alright, hold up. Alright, I messed up there. Alright, so we got to the last torch here in the third house. Alright. Now let's put on the Master Ninja Gear. Alright. So we got slightly shorter, about the same. And the Master Ninja Gear is post-Terraria. Asgard's Valor, shorter than them. So let's do it again just to make sure. The High Ruler, greatest distance so far, back to that torch. Master Ninja Gear, ever so slightly shorter, it seems like, than the Shield of Cthulhu upgrade, and then the Asgard's Valor falls short of them all. So the Shield of the High Ruler definitely has, in the post-Golem stage, the highest dash distance. But let's compare the stats. Alright, so obviously the Shield of the High Ruler, you can see there it gives 12 defense, plus 10 max life, and a thing that probably makes this actually a competitor is it gives immune to most debuffs. You could see right there, just like the Asgard's Valor says right there. And that was the reason that a lot of people use the Asgard's Valor, is because you're immune to like almost every debuff in the entire game, which is incredibly useful. So if you get rid of the Asgard's Valor and switch it out, you're not going to lose that ability. Alright? And you can see the plus 10 max life. We go from 100 to 110, as you see. But also, something to note, I'll demonstrate here in a second, is bonking an enemy reduces the delay before you can dash again by 50%. Which basically means, normally you have a dash delay before you can dash again. Look. So I dash, I can't dash again, there we go. Like I'm spamming it, but it won't let me dash until that delay's over, right? But if you hit an enemy, watch, because when you use this shield, you actually bounce off the enemy. All right, but when you hit an enemy with a dash, you could dash almost immediately afterwards, right? So dashing normally. All right, and this is when hitting an enemy. It's barely noticeable. It's slightly faster. It's just to help you get away from the enemy. Like if you are in a boss fight, you clock with the boss, you have to be able to get away, because otherwise, like the Asgard's Valor, you go straight through the enemy while taking no damage as well, right? Notice that. And the Ninja Gear, I believe, also does go through the enemy, but you're not gonna, it's not damage reducing at all, so you're gonna take the damage unless you dodge, which is another thing with the Ninja Gear. It does allow dodging, which is negates all damage, but it's only a chance of that happening. So you do have to note for that. Now, let's test if, like the Shield of Cthulhu, if you ram an enemy, does that negate the damage? So here we go. We got King Slimin. He's gonna do considerable damage since I'm wearing no armor. So let's see what happens when we ram him. No damage. Absolutely no damage at all. Then we could dash to get away. So it's an interesting accessory. I honestly don't know my opinion on it, because the problem with this accessory compared to the Asgard's Valor is, one, it gives slightly less defense. Alright, because you get let's compare it here. You get the 4 extra defense of the Asgard's Valor, and you can also obtain the Asgard's Valor. You can obtain this sooner, right? You can get this post Plantera. It's hard to craft, but you can still get it sooner. You also get 16 defense, submersion liquid, and you get an extra 10 max life, plus 20 versus only plus 10. I think the Ninja Gear is the worst out of the 3, but I'm not sure which one's actually better, because you do get the greater distance with the Shield of the High Ruler. But and I should also note, you get critical strike chance. I believe the critical strike chance increases as the game progresses. Let me check on that real quick though. Alright, so I think my final conclusion is that it's mostly personal preference. I think the Shield of the High Ruler is better overall, because you also get the, if you're facing a projectile, it hits you, you'll 15% less damage. So there is some resistance against projectiles, which the Asgard's Valor doesn't have. But it's just personal preference, and you can get the Asgard's Valor sooner. You know, why would you wait to get the Shield of the High Ruler when you can just use the Asgard's Valor? And there is no upgrade to the Shield of the High Ruler. This is it for the Shield of Cthulhu line. So that's it. Thank you for watching.